people, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my little corner of the interwebs. You already know what it is. I'm not going to hold you guys. We're going to dive straight into today's video, which you already saw for the title and the thumbnail. I picked up the brand new Chanel Le Beige Healthy Glow Sun-Kissed Powder. It's a lot of words. Now, when I originally saw this, I was intrigued for a couple of reasons. One, the shade tone, the shade range of this line. So that caught my eye. And then I saw the price and I was like, ain't no way. This is a $95 face palette. So it's not cheap by any means, but I had to do it for science. No, not even really. I saw my girl Daphne try it. I saw a couple of other people try it, and I saw that the really rich face palette was too rich. So I was like, does that mean the other one lower down will work for me? Let me pick it up and try it out. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a demo of it on my face so you guys can see what it looks like on my complexion, and then wrapping it up with some overarching thoughts. As always, I'll give you guys some product details, let you know what this claims to do, the shelf life, all that fun jazz, and then we'll dive into the demo. So without further ado, and if you haven't already done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, join the fam. If you've been here, thank you guys for coming back. If you haven't been here before, just know that on my little corner of the interwebs, I like to share any tips, tricks, and best practices for how to find high-end luxury and indie products at the best prices. I personally don't believe in paying full price for makeup. I don't think you should have to either. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Now, even though I don't believe in paying full price for makeup, I just want to let y'all know, Chanel does not go on sale. Chanel, and I kind of respect this because they put a stake in the ground and decided that they're not budging from that. So they don't go on sale. So if you want to get into Chanel beauty, I just accept the fact that you will never find them on sale. On the rare, and I mean rare occasion, you might be able to get it at a discount in store when there is like a Macy's or a Nordstrom sale where you might get 15% off, and that's only if the sales associate likes you enough to give you the discount. So it's a very roundabout thing. Now, I did pick up my face palette from the Chanel boutique that is about 30 minutes away from me. I have shopped from there before, and I honestly met this amazing, beautiful sales associate for so even though this is available online, I chose to shop from her because she's just so sweet, and she did throw in a couple of free gifts in there for me, and she's just a doll. So when I can, I try to shop through Faro at the Chanel boutique near me. So you guys saw the quad. Let me give you the product details. Also, not me calling this a quad. It is not a quad. So it does come in this box that has all of the product details on there. On the face palette itself, there are also additional details that you can get into. So just reading off of the face palette, this does have an 18-month shelf life, and it was made in Italy. And I think that's probably all that you need to know. It doesn't say if it's vegan or cruelty-free or anything like that. So I'm going to assume that it's not. And in terms of how much product you get, there's 15 grams of product or 0.53 ounces, which is decent. And if I haven't already done so, again, it's $95. So this is not a cheap one. So we've gone through the product details. Let's go ahead and dive into the demo and then my overarching thoughts. Okay, so the egg is back. You guys already know. I'm looking very one-dimensional. I have my foundation, my concealer on, but it's time to get into the face palette. So let me just show you guys up close and personal what this Chanel face palette is looking like. Apologies, the light is, I'm using some artificial lights today because it's raining, it's gloomy. There we go. So this, I think, is a pretty good representation of what this looks like. Now, even though this is a big palette, I will say that these are very sort of small slits, and I typically like big fluffy brushes. So for this, I'm going to go in with my RMS bronzer brush. The RMS bronzer is trash, but this brush is actually quite nice because I do think that it's thin enough that it can fit directly into the bronzer section only, so I can use that to bronze my face. However, I do think that if you really wanted to, these shades, you could just mix them all together and get like a bronzer, blush, highlight combo kind of thing going, but I want to try to concentrate on the individual parts of this. So starting with the bronzer first, taking my RMS blush, and I'm just going to sweep that in there. Okay. Oh! Wait, hold up. Is she showing up? Y'all, I'm not gonna lie. I had like this much faith, just like a mustard seed of faith. But she's showing up, y'all. Okay, let's try it on the forehead because I think that's a very light part of my, face. So you can really see the color if it... Okay. Now, I'm not doing the whole influencer thing where you gasp because, like, it's doing what it's supposed to do. I'm actually genuinely shocked because Chanel has a history of not giving us things that actually have the depth that people like me need. So I'm very, very surprised. And if you're watching this, you've seen the intro to this video where I've swatched it and whatnot, but I'm actually going into this without having swatched it first. So the way in which I film some of my reviews is that I actually do the application before the intro, before the swatches. So a lot of times my application is like me like finding out for the first time, is this going to work? Had I swatched this before, I would have actually known, oh, it got some pigment to it. It got some punch to it. But because I haven't swatched it yet, I'm actually genuinely surprised. And this is giving pigment. Not only is it giving pigment, but it's giving undertone too. Like it definitely is a little bit more red, but not too red where it looks extremely harsh on my complexion. If you know me, you know that when it comes to bronzers, I prefer my bronzers to lean a little bit more neutral because I have a warm / golden undertone. Red bronzers, it really makes me look bruised. Like it doesn't look good on me. It's way too harsh, especially because I'm medium deep, not too deep. So the red really just does not look natural on me. So I tend to choose more neutral leaning bronzers. So this one, while it does have some red to it, it's not too much. It's giving natural. And I'm here for it. Y'all, this is about to be my bronzer of the summer. Okay, just taking that now and putting it. Y'all, this is so much better than I imagined. Okay, Chanel, we see you. And again, just for a little bit of context, there is one deeper shade than this. So if you are darker than I am and you're like, it works for you, but it likely won't work for me, there is one deeper shade. So definitely worth checking this out. And if you can, I always recommend going into a boutique to try it out in person because this is a very, very, very pricey product. So if you don't want to blind buy, go swatch it, see how you feel about it before picking it up. Okay, next up, we're going to go into this blush. This is a kind of pinky leaning blush. Ooh, that got some good pickup too. Okay, I'm really bad at blush application, so don't clown me. I'm doing my best. Let's just... Okay. Let's add a little bit more. There we go. Now we're getting color. Okay. Ooh, this is so pretty. I did not plan this all pink look today, you guys. I just happened to pull it all together. And I'm very happy for me that this is working out well, but also like, why didn't I plan to go places when I knew I was gonna look at this good? Okay, I am very, 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 very happy. And this is not, like, you can see how rosy that is on my cheeks. And it's not giving dusty. It's not giving, you know, this is too light. It's actually quite nice. And I'm overdoing it at this point. Let me relax. So let me relax and then just kind of like buff this in. I like to take my blush a little high. And kind of like into the eyeshadow. Maybe that's not the right way to do it, but y'all know. I'm just a girl who has no idea what she's doing and likes to play in makeup online. Okay. Cool beans. And lastly, we're gonna go into this highlight shade. And there's no real shimmer to this, so I'm like actually curious as to what this is gonna highlight. So it's not glittery or anything. Oh, okay. She got a little sheen. I don't think this is gonna show up on camera, but yeah, I think I have to add a lot for this to show up on camera, but in person, there's a beautiful, okay, yeah, I think you can kind of see it. If not, I apologize. You know, there's a little, it's almost like a glow or sheen rather than like a highlight. Okay, you can see it. There you go. That is quite nice. Chanel did not disappoint me, y'all. Chanel did not disappoint. I came in with, like, again, a mustard seed of faith and like low expectations, but whew, okay. All right, so now that we've gotten up close and personal, so you can see the bronzer, the blush, the highlight, and I'm sorry, the artificial lighting might make it look like I'm slightly bruised, but it's not. Let me see if I can I change the tone? Hold on. Because I'm using more cool tone lighting. I'm doing my best with this, y'all. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's too warm. Is this, I guess this would be normal daylight. Well, now y'all seen it in all the different lights, but it is very, very natural and nice, and I'm really happy with this. Just so you know. Okay, let me go finish up the rest of my face, and then I'll come back, give you guys my final thoughts. Okay, I'm back. This is the final look. Just so you guys know what's on the rest of my face, I am actually testing out today the About Face foundation. So I'm going to be doing a bit of a wear test on this to figure out, like, do I actually like it? Well, yeah, just do I actually like it? I mean, what else can I test, you know? I'm also wearing the Serena Williams Win concealer. That's been my go-to. I have not stopped wearing it since I bought it. You guys saw the Chanel face palette. That's what we're here to talk about. And for my lips, I'm wearing an oldie but a goodie. This is the Pat McGrath Entranced lipstick. This is, I believe, one of the satin, satin allures. Really, really pretty. One of my go-tos for a pinky lip. So let me just bring you guys in a little bit closer so you can see everything a lot of bit closer pulled together. And I forgot to tell you guys, I'm actually wearing the Ensley Rain Flower Moon palette. I've not been filming with this. I've just been testing it out for my own, like, feelings and emotions, I guess. And this is the look that I came up with. Very, very dramatic. It's a really nice palette, so, you know, there's that. Maybe I'll do some videos on it after that, but so far, really been enjoying it. So yes, this is the look. This is the face. Here's where we are. All right, let's talk about it. Okay, so the Chanel Sun-Kissed, Healthy Glow Sun-Kissed powder. This is a part of the Le Beige collection, which you guys know I do have some products from their winter release. I don't know if this is spring or not, but from what I can tell, this is intended to be not a limited edition product. So like an actual staple in the Chanel lineup. I'm just noticing the smell. I kind of like it. It's like light perfume. Definitely a little aging, but y'all know I kind of like the Mulgani smell anyway. So anyway, typical Chanel packaging, really beautiful. It is what you get to expect when you buy Chanel. Very, very luxe. Speaking of the product, y'all, so impressed with this. I wasn't entirely sure because I have tried Chanel powder products in the past, and sometimes they look like they will work in the pan, but then once they apply to the skin, they either look a little bit dusty, a little bit ashy, and they just don't work for my complexion. When I saw that Chanel released this, and this I believe has 6 different shades. Let me double check that for you guys. Sorry, it has 5 shades. This is the second to last, or the second deepest option. So I will say that huge pluses to Chanel for actually having a range that goes pretty deep, because there is even one deeper than this. If you want to see how the one that's deeper than this performs, check out my girl Dap's makeup, or Daphne, that's her name. Her channel is Dap's Makeup. She has both this and the deep one, so you can get some comparisons as to whether or not this will work for you. I opted for this one because the deep one was definitely way too rich for my complexion, and even though I am going to get darker in the summertime, I'm not going to get that dark, you know? So I thought that this one would work well. In terms of this being 3 different sort of products in one palette, I'm actually not mad at it because I do think that the formula that they chose for each of these means that you can either use this in a concentrated way where you focus on the individual like sort of pans or the individual rows, strips, whatever you want to call it, or you can swirl it together and get a really nice look. For example, the highlight in this is not a true highlighter in my opinion, in that it's not as glimmery or shimmery as you think. So if you're concerned about cross-contamination and then your bronzer has a little too much sparkle in there, because of the formula of this, which is so soft and almost more like just like a pearl, but not like crazy glimmery, that even if it mixes with the other 2 shades, it's not going to be a problem. The bronzer, like I said when I talked about it in the application, rich, but has that very neutral leaning undertone, so it's not too red. So if you are my complexion and you're worried about it being too harsh or too red, where it might look a little bit bruised, not going to end up with any of that issue. And then this is just a really nice sort of pink everyday blush. Like, this is a really good everyday palette, and I think it would work well with a ton of different looks. And for my complexion, these 3 shades, chef's kiss. They just work. As I keep trying this, I will do like a whole swirl thing to see if I can get just like a nice bronzer, blush, highlight combo, or try to mix a couple of these together to see how they apply. Because I am very curious as to how things are going to look once you start mixing them together. I don't want to mess up the whole pan because I do plan to use this as individual sort of sections. So I will like, kind of like lightly dust everything together to see how they would. In terms of these slivers, I do think that you can make them work if you have a small enough brush that's precise. Obviously, you guys saw me go in with brushes in these individual segments. A highlight brush, easy peasy to get into here. A bronzer brush, you definitely want to pick something that's a little bit thinner and a little bit like tapered in this way. Or you can take one of your big brushes and just kind of squeeze them to get that precise application in the pan so that you can pick up just that. So I think that while this is not necessarily the most ideal, if you prefer the big fluffy brushes, you can make it work. It's not as small as Natasha Denona's Hype Natural Face palette or whatever the hell it was called, because that didn't make no kind of sense. We can agree that those slivers didn't make no kind of sense. So there's that. All right, the one deterrent of this palette, because I have to mention it, the price. The price is pricing, y'all. This is $95. Probably mentioned this in the intro. It is not cheap by any means. That being said, I'm not mad at the price overall, I guess, kind of, sort of, because a Chanel blush, I believe, retails for about $70. So considering that you get blush, bronzer, and highlight, it kind of works out versus having to buy those things separately from Chanel. So if you were to take the $95 divided by 3, it does work out value-wise in that way, but I know that's a hard way and not necessarily the best way to look at it. So from a cost perspective, it's not cheap, but it's also Chanel. So it kind of is what it is. You kind of expect that in some ways. And I, like I said, personally am not mad because of the fact that this does boil down to be 3 products for $95 essentially. And 3 products that all work. It would have been different had it been that the bronzer didn't work and I could only use 2 out of the 3 products. You see what I'm saying? Anyways, that's it for this sort of review, first impressions video, you guys. Let me know, are you interested in this face palette? Did you pick it up? What do you think about the shade range? All that fun jazz. Leave it down in the comments below. And of course, if you don't know what to comment, as always, give me those orange hearts. Or you can do a pink heart today because, you know, I'm very pink today. I don't know what happened, but I'm very, very pink today. So leave either an orange or a pink heart letting me know what you guys think about this face palette. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much more than you know, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!